Hi friends, and welcome back to Unbound Pigment Studios. In today's tutorial, we're painting a glowing forest scene using golden hour techniques in watercolor. We'll explore how light transforms the landscape and how you can capture that warm, radiant glow with just a few essential colors and brush strokes. Golden hour, that magical time just before sunset, gives everything a soft golden light. It's full of warmth, emotion, and atmosphere, and it's a perfect subject for watercolor because of the medium's transparency and fluidity. Before we lay down our first wash, I'm applying a little masking fluid to preserve the brightest spots, especially where the sunlight breaks through the trees. This helps us keep those areas clean and glowing without having to lift later. I used Winsor and Newton Cotman paints in this piece. For the light tones, I mixed cadmium yellow and cadmium orange and added them to the areas where the light naturally falls. Other colors I used during this painting include lemon yellow, hooker's green for the leaves, burnt sienna, yellow ochre, and burnt umber for the warm, earthy tones. Shadows were painted with ultramarine blue and a touch of purple. You can find the brushes I used linked in the description. Gently lift the excess paint to create a soft ray effect, then start adding your greens. Layer a lighter green wash over the area, then deepen the shadows with darker greens where the light doesn't reach to add depth. Once that's done, let the background dry completely. This is the fun part, adding salt to create beautiful light effects. While the paper is still damp, sprinkle a little salt over the areas where you want texture or a sparkly diffused glow. As the paint dries, the salt absorbs moisture and pigment, leaving behind organic crystalline patterns that mimic light or shimmer. It's a simple trick, but it adds so much interest to a loose watercolor background. Once the first layer is dry, add a second layer of dark green to deepen the shadows and enhance the depth. Focus on areas farthest from the light to create contrast and dimension. Once everything is completely dry, gently remove the masking fluid and brush off the salt from your painting surface. Then, soften any harsh edges around the white areas. Use a damp brush or spray a little water where needed to blend them naturally into the background. Let's start painting the trees. Use lighter colors for the ones closest to the light. And for the distant trees, add shadows in the darker areas using a mix of blue and purple. Adding leaves now: orange, burnt sienna, and green. Just go darker the farther you get from the light. Let everything dry completely, then add a few finishing touches. Include some loose splashes for texture. Use darker splashes in areas farther from the light to enhance contrast and depth. Now that everything looks balanced, we can exaggerate the light a little more using white gouache. I'm using a deerfoot brush to gently dab in those bright highlights, and I'm honestly so excited about how this painting turned out. It's one of my favorites so far. And here it is, our finished piece, a watercolor forest glowing in the soft golden light of sunset. If you painted along or felt inspired, I'd love to see your version. Share it in the comments or tag me on social media at Unbound Pigments. Your creativity truly inspires this community. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and tap the bell so you won't miss the next watercolor story. Thanks so much for painting with me today. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and let your colors stay unbound.